is our way of working with the community. We do this, it's always been in collaboration with the Ministry of Health as well as a community partner like New Testament Baptist Church. And it's a way to come out in the community and do free health screenings. So people can come in and be checked for blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose, vision, height, weight, circumference, and I think that's it. And then we collect data history that is useful for the country to get information about people's health. And then we give a card to each person with all their results on it. And they also have the opportunity to talk with a physician while they're here. So the physician can give them advice about what they might need to do next with respect to their health. For AUC, it's a wonderful opportunity for our students to really get out in the community and talk with real people and really practice some of the things they're learning and learn new things while they're out here.
Based on the information as has been provided by your person, I take it that your focus during this health fair is basically based on chronic diseases.
Yes, right, yeah. So we're looking at hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, basically. And those are three very prominent, problems on the island. So, our testing relates to that. Yeah.
Pastor Nunton, first of all, your building, the church, has been used for this wonderful venture. What kind of a reaction has there been from persons going to your church in particular, being part of this health fair?
Well, actually, when we started announcing it, persons were excited. Persons wanted to know about it. I think our community is very health conscious, especially around this time. And so many illnesses that are affecting persons, they become, more and more conscious of their health. And so persons are embarking in exercise and nutrition and so forth. So upon the announcement, persons were excited for us to have something of this kind.
What kind of a participation is there from your membership overall?
Well, I think I see a few of my members here who would have come to get check-up and so forth. I anticipate that more will come, but I see a few membership coming and some would have come and gone already. So persons are responding to the call to get their different checks and so forth.
The possibility of you making the church available to organizations that might want to have a health fair in the future, how likely is that?
It is very likely. Our church exists to not just promote spirituality, but to serve the community. As you probably might be aware, we have a soup kitchen, which we're standing in right now. So from Monday to Friday, we serve between 76 and 80 persons per day, a hot meal. So we are about serving the community, and this is one way of us doing that. So for persons who would be willing to serve the community in this way, we will be more than happy to collaborate and make that effort a reality and make our space available for this service.
I will say this is an absolutely wonderful space, and the church has provided such wonderful hospitality, and we'll be coming here once a year from now on.
Now, the information gathered from the fair, you said data are being collected in order to make informed decisions as to how you will treat or handle persons who have made it their business to be part of the fair. Let's take a look back. You have been doing this for a while now. What is the most worrying or troublesome issues of deserving attention for you?
Well, I think hypertension is very prevalent. I mean, we see that a lot, and we have some of our faculty have taken the data, and they've looked at risk factors, tried to people who have been diagnosed with particular diseases. I know certainly one of the things they've looked at is family history, and then how that's linked to people having certain diseases. So I think we've done a lot. We have a lot more to do, and that's one of our goals for this year is to really get a big report put together of everything we've done so far for the community to see. And that's one of the things that we have not done, but we plan to do within this year.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
My question is for the Minister of Finance. The Prime Minister said that the situation is dire. You said the postponement of the budget is unfortunate. Parliamentarians are saying they need more time, hence the reason why they are requesting a postponement. They also feel that you presented a brand new budget to them. Can you give us some insight, if you may, sir, as to the changes made to the draft budget 2019?
Thank you, Stephen. Excellent question. Just let me try to take that misconception away. You know, just on a technical level, very fast, if you change a figure in the budget, just because you need to amend the budget, you will have to change what we call the getallenboek. That's the booklet, that is a very thick booklet, that shows all the numbers of your budget. So every time you do an amendment, you will have to change that as well, and it goes along to Parliament. So when you get it, you know, again, it will be a big pack like that. But for me, if every time you get a big pack like that, you just look at the pack and then you say, oh, this is a complete new budget, you know, if you read the elucidative notes to it, then you will see that it's only on a couple of subjects on that budget that amendments were made. And as I mentioned before in my remarks just now, we even highlighted it for the parliamentarians. You know, maximum 15 pages. That's all. So I think the people of St. Martin should count on their parliamentarians that since 2018 when they had the budget, that at least they took their time to go over that budget, including the amendments that followed suit. Now, in this last budget amendment, it's a notice of amendment, so that means that the budget that was presented to Parliament will remain there, and this document will be added to it, and it becomes an intrinsic part of it, while the previous one was retracted and replaced. Now, in this budget, why we needed the notice of amendment was mainly because of the omission of financing for the support at the police department. So we had to put that in it. There were some other small changes that we needed to do for the FROMI and also for finance and the prison that we needed to add to it. So these were small changes, you know. So I don't understand that perception. If you read, then you know exactly what is going on. But that is how it is. Nothing more, nothing less, Mr. Cirillian.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Wib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
It behooves the country, St. Martin, Parliament and government to carefully analyze the statement and comments coming from the IMF regarding Curaçao and its financial management. This statement by the IMF has to do with the imposition of conditions on Curaçao via the structure of the CFT that then recommends and sends such recommendations to the Kingdom Council of Ministers. The CFT is governed by a kingdom law, and this was agreed upon when St. Martin and Curaçao became countries. This agreement regarding the financial supervision of these countries was a condition following the clearing of the biggest part of the debt of the Netherlands Antilles at the time. St. Martin's part in the clearing of this debt, in other words, what St. Martin got out of it, was negligible. Even the small part that St. Martin was to receive in order to pay outstanding creditors, at the end of the day, left nothing for St. Martin except at the time a payment of part of the debt to the General Pension Fund. This was the case because St. Martin's part in the debt of the Netherlands Antilles was practically nil, because St. Martin as an island territory could not contract loans. Nevertheless, St. Martin too fell and falls under the scope of the financial supervision via the CFT. And now that a rather conservative institution like the IMF, in such a firm manner, criticizes the workings of this CFT and the imposition of conditions, and if these are not followed voluntarily, then an instruction can actually impose these conditions, I think needs to be carefully evaluated and looked at. St. Martin needs to take a position regarding this matter. I want to go back a moment to the matter of St. Martin's debt and what part of the Netherlands Antillian debt regarded St. Martin, because in addition to hardly having any part of that outstanding debt and having any part cleared of St. Martin outstanding payments, St. Martin actually inherited part of the debt that the Netherlands Antilles itself had to take care of. So for us, this whole debt situation and debt clearance situation was actually a double whammy. Many have been the criticisms regarding the CFT, the fact that they only look at the law that governs them without any consideration for other economic and financial consequences, again, is something that the country needs to evaluate. I believe that we are strengthened by the statement of the IMF, and it is the time that we need to enter into discussions regarding this type of financial management. The Kingdom Law financial supervision has been evaluated. However, even in the law itself, there are conditions in terms of the termination of that law. So if you don't comply, if we can't comply with the very same law, this type of supervision will not be terminated. And again, this gives us even more material to have a serious discussion regarding the financial management, the imposition of conditions, and the structure of the CFT and the Kingdom Council of Ministers in this regard. Furthermore, and now another aspect comes into play, and that is the aspect of the unilateral decisions by the Kingdom government that can be taken regarding any of the countries, and nowhere having the possibility, so the countries do not have the possibility to table a dispute, to table a disagreement, especially where it comes to the imposition of decisions by the Kingdom Council of Ministers, unilateral decisions by the Kingdom Council of Ministers on the countries Curacao and St. Martin. I will therefore be either requesting that members of parliament or factions make a proposal, submit a proposal for this matter to be handled, or as the chair lady of parliament, I can also call for such a meeting, because I think it's extremely important, and that we don't wait too long before St. Martin too have this discussion. Today, it is Curacao. An instruction is apparently hanging over the head of Curacao. We have had instructions in the past. Curacao has had instructions in the past, also in the financial sphere. So first of all, St. Martin need to pick up this ball and make it a point of discussion. And I just want to repeat, when a conservative organization, institution, if you wish, comes with such an opinion regarding this particular structure within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, then we have to pay heed. IMF is the institution that looks at recovery for countries, financial recovery for countries, and oftentimes recommends some very bitter pills for countries to swallow in order to deal with their financial/economic recovery.
Hi, what's up, St. Martin? My name is Rene Leverett, and I play baseball. And I have represented St. Martin in numerous international tournaments and professionally around the world. Sports matters to me because it reveals and develops character. So I challenge the business community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facilities. I also ask the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take the challenge and step up for sports. Because hashtag sports matters, hashtag are you in?
If you were to go to Jamaica, and specifically to our wettest parish, Portland, here is a building you should go and see. And though I say building, what I really mean is story. Because every building is a story. And the chapters of some buildings are more magical than others. So on your way to the town center, Port Antonio, before actually entering the town, you should turn off, driving across what at first looks like a huge and dry playing field, driving towards the water that you know is on the other side, a view of Port Antonio Bay. Drive through the bramble towards the lighthouse until you finally come to the story. The building, Portland's Folly, built as just a summer house, was still built as the most extravagant mansion on the island, and probably the Caribbean at the time. A Roman villa with 60 rooms, an indoor pool, the grounds cultivated into a tropical paradise with peacocks and monkeys strutting about. It was a gift from Alfred Mitchell to his wife, Annie Tiffany, heiress to the Tiffany fortune. So many legends spring from this building. The monkeys, for instance, not native to Jamaica, who eventually escaped, freeing themselves as if to echo another story, swimming across the bay to an island officially known then as Wood Island, the monkeys who still live there today and have changed the name of the island to Monkey Island. But more fascinating is the story of the building's own decline. Rushing to get the building done, needing sand and water to mix the cement, Mitchell must have looked around him and thought, was there anything more abundant here than water and sand? Seawater, beach sand. It did not occur to him that he had made a building whose walls were full of salt. That here was a construction that included its destruction, that the building's future ruin was made a part of it from the very beginning. And because I'm a novelist, I wonder magical things. I wonder if they needed to salt their meals, if they could not just leave the dinner on the table and flecks of roof would come down to season their plates. I wonder if their sleep tasted of salt, and if they dreamt always of the sea, and how the building slowly collapsed, fleck by fleck, a ceiling finally caving into the floor below, and how it continues to crumble even now, like some magnificent art installation, this building dissolving towards the thing that laps at the shore, as if it is not deep that calls to deep, but salt that calls to salt. Even the name is magical, Portland's Folly. Folly has two meanings, a lack of good sense or foolishness, or a costly ornamental building with no practical purpose, especially a tower or mock Gothic ruin built in a large garden or park. This building then that is both folly and folly, but also it is a story. It is a story that we all know across these islands, the story of a man who came and thought he could build something extravagant, the story of ships that held as their cargo living beings and how those beings freed themselves from captivity. It is the story of the foolishness of man, and also it is the story of salt. That story is pervasive across the Caribbean. That story repeats itself island to island to island, and we tell it with different characters and different details.